Our first guest is Hall of Famer Grant Hall joining us. And always appreciate your time, Grant. What's going on today?
Nothing like a little Frank Sinatra lead-in, huh?
Got that right. It's a little lift in your shoe right there. Were you at last night's basketball game against UCA, or did you watch on TV?
I watched it and it's interesting, Phil. 75 of the 130 shots were three-point shots, which is 58%. Maybe explaining why each team only had 8 turnovers, and Arkansas only shot one more free throw than the opponent. I think Arkansas, when they took the 22-9 lead, kind of thought, okay, we got this, and then got outscored over the next number of minutes. And, this was by contrast to the night before when the Arkansas women's team shot 20 more free throws than the other team did and had to come from 7 down, as you know, in the last couple of minutes to pull that one out. And I was impressed by how they did that. I was impressed by Dees, the Australian player, both ends, and the coach, Kelsey Music, for really, I thought, keeping her composure during that time.
Yeah, I've been impressed watching them for the first 3 games. I still do wonder, and I think they've got probably a better inside presence than we've seen over the past year or two. But I still wonder how that's going to play out when they start playing SEC teams. And I guess we'll learn a little more about that on Sunday against Texas Tech on the road.
Yeah, and you hoped that Arkansas would correct some of the things from Michigan State, which is a very good team, obviously. And I couldn't help but notice the last 2 games, Arkansas's freshman guard, the 2 freshman guards are 11 for 38 from 3, which is 29%. And I thought maybe after the 4 for 17 against Michigan State that it might look a little different, but they're going to shoot. Shooters shoot, and I think that Wagner can kind of bring them along. I'm really impressed by him. He was a guest Monday night at the coaches show that Calipari had, and he's kind of a humble guy. He didn't really start kind of taking over last year until Boogie Fland got hurt. And by the way, Boogie last night was 18 points, 4 steals, and he made the 2 key free throws that allowed them to win 78-76 over Florida State. I still like him as a player, but I think if he'd been here this year, there just might not have been enough play for all the guards Arkansas's got. So, last night they went 4 guards pretty much, and I thought Pringle played well. But that's kind of the one question you have is, are they going to be strong enough inside against the Tennessees of the world and the tougher teams they're going to play?
How do you want to see this team play, Grant? Do you want to see them keep firing the 3-point shots to make the defense extend? Because we can go past our guards are good enough that if one-on-one they can go past anybody. But we have to be a little more aggressive, I think. I hope we don't fall in love with the three-pointer, because what about when it's not hitting? And then what about when you hit 3 out of 5 early and then you fall in love with it and you miss 17 in a row? Something like, you got to keep attacking and be aggressive.
And, Matt, I think, I would like to see the aggression go on defense. I mean, to me, this team is wickedly quick and has the potential.
We should have 20-plus transition points a game. I'm with you.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that's what, right now, I think Coach Calipari is just seeing what he's got, and he's going to figure out what to do in March and April, when the time comes. That's my hope anyway, because this team does have great athletic ability and a lot of potential.
A lot of smoke. Let's switch over to football here and the coaching search, and a lot of smoke that the search is over. And it's really difficult to, know what to think or know what to believe, or, we all have our opinions as to who should be the coach and all of that. But there's now a lot of smoke about, well, the Razorbacks have settled on who they want, may even have them, I don't know if signed is the word, but to an agreement that maybe something happens the week of the Missouri game. And Mike Irwin on Monday and last week, Grant used the term smokescreen a lot, and I think it's difficult to know, what information to believe. But there's a lot out there right now that seems like something's happening, and this is the time to do it.
Yeah, and most people I talk to think that they have settled on James Franklin, and in fact, there's even a rumor out there that he has a daughter with, I believe, sickle cell, and that he's in the process of figuring out how to check out hospitals in Northwest Arkansas and so forth. But again, remember that the smoke screens are out there in all directions like I've never seen, and it's easier to do it these days with social media and fake things and all that. So I guess we'll all believe it when we see it. It's interesting that Wally Hall the last couple of days has really been in Bobby Petrino's corner, and I am too. I mean, just selfishly am kind of rooting for him to do well. I think they've got a good chance to beat LSU this weekend. Well, I mean, what if Arkansas beats LSU by 2-3 touchdowns? Will people just say, well, it's two interim coaches and LSU's quit and all this stuff? They were good enough to play Alabama fairly well the other night. They've got two quarterbacks, which means they don't have one great one, and they're trying to get it done that way. And the second quarterback came in and receivers had to make spectacular catches of bad throws when they were wide open, kind of thing, So, but Taylon's healthy, and a couple of other guys that were out are healthy. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Arkansas won this game Saturday. But I mean, I've been wrong the last two games. I thought they'd win both of those too.
Ooh, I'm speechless. I'm without speech. Hey, how does Bobby recruit when mamas know, like how does he go into somebody's house and the mama's sitting across with her husband and you're taking your kid and you know that he wasn't faithful? And I mean, how does that go? He doesn't have the mama vote. I just don't think Bobby's going to be the coach because there's too many mamas that wouldn't want their son to go play for him. That doesn't mean he's not talented, but that's just part of it.
That's the biggest problem right now, too, Matt, is who's recruiting. I mean, if you're waiting till the last week or even after to name a coach you already have, then that's 3 more weeks of recruiting. But
if you're getting Franklin, he's going to bring in 30 guys with him, don't you think?
And he's going to bring in a lot. I understand. You hear that he's going to bring 7 Penn State freshmen. I don't know. I mean, you hear all kinds of stuff, but he can recruit. I thought Bill King said it perfectly on your show yesterday when he said he's what was the term? A beast of a recruiter, I think. Now, there are some other things about coordinators and things he also talked about, but I mean, given who's out there right now, to me, if Arkansas could pull that off, that would be a home run hire.
Well, and look, I want to see a hire occur quickly. You've had so much time. There are so many other, jobs that are open, and so many fans. I feel are scared that you're not going to get your first choice, and just the earlier the best. And look, here's the thing about this too: is I can appreciate the importance of high school recruiting and what that is, but if you're going to jumpstart the program moving forward, it's going to be through the transfer portal. That's where it's going to come. Are there any freshmen right now that have had any true impact on this year's team at all? It's come through the transfer portal, and the process starts later now because it's January 2nd to January 16th. You get your guy in place. If it happens Mizzou week or championship week, they've got plenty of time. Go find your staff, and they can put a team together, and a pretty good team too. I think through the portal, and you'll get your high school recruits as well. That'll still come.
Well, Phil and Matt, what's a reasonable timetable if Arkansas does completely get a new staff in here? What's reasonable to think when could Arkansas be competitive again in football?
Next year.
Next year.
Immediately. Yeah. That's November 30th. Whenever you want to name Jimmy Franklin, is that how we're going? And then let's get to work.
So I'm not saying like you're a playoff team next year, but you're a bowl team next year. And
it's a whole culture change. It's a whole change.
Well, and a couple of freshmen played pretty well in the offensive line last. You would hope to keep the good players here.
Maybe you can get that Auburn freshman center. They just lost their coach. That Auburn center that was 7. That dude is a beast, man. He's going to be a beast next year as well. Kind of looking at some of these other teams that have lost coaches, and these players would be able to get in the portal too.
And maybe that's what Franklin is doing. He's working double time on trying to get as much recruiting firepower together as he can.
And that outside linebacker that they have. Number 17 and number 14. If one of those was a sophomore, I think we need him as well.
By the way, guys, Perkins, there was this talk that he might not play the rest of the year because of their situation. Bobby, he played last week, and at one time the guy was, I think I voted him in my top 3 Heisman one year. He's been quieter the last couple of years, but that guy, he can disrupt a game on you.
Well, if you beat LSU, you get a chance to get to the quarterback. 12-2 sacks against them in the previous 3 weeks. So I don't know how much Perkins has felt like playing.
Quincy Rhodes got on the Bednarik list. That's top 20 in the country. That's pretty good for a 2-7 team.
Is he best player on the team? Is he the first draft pick?
He's the best defensive player, I think, for sure, man.
I think he's the first.
So.
I think he'll be the first draft Arkansas Razorback in this next draft. Yeah.
He's got the size and the things they look for.
Hey, Grant, we'll do this again next week when we're getting ready to see them play Texas, okay?
Yeah, one of these weeks I hope we have a new coach to talk about.
Yeah, or a win to talk about. That'd be nice, too.
Absolutely, it would.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Got a little jingle